Dum dum da dum 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 bum 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 bum. Enough. Hello. God equals square root of -1. You are the first and only one participating today. Thank you. Um, I I think in this episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to revisit a reaction video that I did before. In fact, I'm not going to revisit it. I'm going to do another reaction to a video that I did a reaction to prior, and I don't think I did it justice. I think on this time I got a little bit of a more sort of a less reactive reaction, as it were, or less aggressive reaction, and just see if I can point out the lunacy of the claims. The claims are made by this gentleman here, EA. He calls himself the EA Show, but his channel, which was the EA Show, has pretty much been changed to EA Dawah. So it's going to be the EA Dawah clip that I'm going to be reacting to again. So that's the plan for today anyway. However, I need to... What do I need to do? Yes, I need a few minutes to get coffee and whatnot, and then we'll get going, all right? So in the meantime, you get this screen, you get music and a timer. It's over. All right. Okie dokie, ladies and gentlemen. What we'll do is we're going to get the show on the road. I'll just get it. I'll just start playing. And remember, anyone can join at any time. The object is to prove me wrong on my claim that all gods are imaginary. The format is you coming in, you give me your argument for how I'm wrong, and you don't ask me any questions, you just give it to me. The argument, that is. Further than that, anything else is up for discussion. You can join anytime, and we can start the conversation. So let's start the video, the reaction.
Why does that make it true, though?
Because all of the other ones showed to be incoherent and logically contradictory.
What does that have to do with the religion itself, though?
It doesn't. It has to do with logic and reason and holding the most reasonable worldview.
Why would you choose a religion based on logic and reason? The whole point of religion is that you have blind faith in something.
Yeah, but that's not my belief. So I mean,
so E.A. Dawah, Khalil, you're saying you don't have a belief? Just listen to all the contradictions, and listen to all the statements that lack logic that he claims.
You can attack somebody else's, but if you want to talk about mine, then you're gonna have to get with the program.
Get with what program exactly?
Logic and reason.
Okay, so he's using logic and reason, okay, to come to his God, is what he's going to try and Firstly, I'll tell you what caught my my eye about this. Was his the title. He says atheist gets destroyed on logic and the law of identity. That's essentially what he called it. Now listen to it, and there's no destruction of any atheist going on here. All he's doing, he's trying to defend his very, very weak position. Khalil is.
I have both of those.
Okay, cool. So then we should have a fun time.
Okay, so why exactly do you believe in, what is it? Islamic? I forgot what it's called.
Wow.
Islam.
Yeah,
I know
Islam.
that's where it's.
He's thinking about the word Allah.
No, doesn't that mean God in your language?
Yeah, that's God.
Why do you praise Allah?
Why do I praise Allah? Because he is the.
That doesn't tell me why you praise him. You're saying.
I didn't even answer the question yet.
You said he. You say he is.
I literally said
automatically tells me you're not going to give me an answer.
So if you're not interested in talking and interested in staying,
no, go ahead. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna give me a description on him, then I'm not.
You're gonna be shouted in a minute.
Yeah, I know he's gonna completely overtalk me when I'm giving him coherent answers. So I could already tell he's a bull in a china shop. He doesn't want to have a decent conversation. But that's fine. I can play that game too. So the reason why I believe is because, or you asked me why I believe in Allah, because Allah is the causal principle, the necessary being in a contingent world that has intelligence.
Okay, don't forget that we're working off logic and reason, eh? All the way. Now listen to his bullshit and his gobbledygook. Totally forgetting about logic and reason. Forget about that.
And that used his free will to choose to actualize the universe in which we live
in. What a bunch of nonsense.
How do you know that?
Exactly.
I don't know that.
So then why do you claim
it? Suspect that?
Because I'm convinced of it.
Yeah, he doesn't know it, but he's convinced of it. Listen to this. Listen, he's very, very sneaky.
Can we choose what we're convinced of?
Why?
Can we choose what we're convinced of? I remember this from the last time. I think I blew a valve or something when he said that.
I don't know why. Can we choose what we're convinced of?
Well then,
I think so, but I mean,
so if I'm convinced of it, huh?
You're praising a god that you don't know why you're praising him. So
No, I never
just
said
praising
that.
him.
I never said that.
That's
Don't straw man me.
kind of what you're.
He
That's
did say that. You did say that.
I'm literally recording.
He did say that. He said he's not convinced. I mean, he said he is convinced, but he's not. Fuck, I forget what he said. But I don't, I don't feel like rewinding right now. But there's no logic and no reason yet.
This right now, so I could post this online.
Why does you record? Like, I don't care if you record this.
Good,
like,
good. So just make sure you're representing me properly, because we can go back and I can make a complete fool of you afterwards.
See?
So make sure you got
sure,
your you make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's.
Don't know exactly
what that means.
I know what it means. But just...
Okay.
He's very sort of aggressive. He's very Darth Dawkins like, you know. This is what you're gonna do. These are the instructions. A, B, C. Follow them. Don't fuck me. Don't not follow them.
Okay.
Confused. What I'm asking you is, you told me the.
Okay, so this kid is the atheist that he says gets destroyed on logic and law of identity. I'm waiting.
Reason that you like Allah, but why do you think that he did that? Why do you think he did those things? Like, do you have proof that he did those things you're speaking of?
I never said that he did anything yet. I said he's the causal principle of the universe.
Yeah, but in order for you to say that, Khalil, you have to first show us that there's such a thing existing, that this Allah that you're talking about is an existent being, is extant, but you can't and haven't done that.
You said he used his.
Okay, so he used his free will to create the universe. Yeah. Do you want to know?
So Allah has free will, so he can make any choice he likes, right? So Allah, having free will, makes the choice to make have children, us humans, and then make our lives an absolute and total misery. This is Allah. We suffer disease, we suffer disaster, we suffer mutilation, we suffer murder, we suffer mauling. And this is what our Father in heaven has prescribed for us. Isn't that nice?
Why I think those things? Is that what you're trying to ask?
That's what I've been asking this whole time.
I mean, you could just ask that question instead of.
That's what I asked.
That's not, like I said. I have this recording.
I literally asked why.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That's fine. That's fine.
You can't answer. You can't answer.
We can go forward from there. So I start off with studying epistemology. Do you believe that we can have beliefs without empirical evidence?
Do you think we can have beliefs without empirical evidence? He says he started off by studying epistemology. Now this here, Khalilullah, he is I forget what I was going to say. Sorry.
Not necessarily, but
okay. Okay, so do you believe that you are you and not something else?
Okay, that is ridiculous. Okay, this is the law of identity that he's, I think, getting at. Do you believe that you are you and not something else? It's a really dumb fucking statement to say.
Yes.
Okay, what's your demonstrable?
There you go.
Demonstrable evidence for that.
Demonstrable evidence for believing that you are you. What a fucking stupid fucking statement, Khalilullah. You don't say, what is your demonstrable evidence for believing that you are you and not someone else? Can you hear how incoherent that is?
What do you mean?
Exactly.
I'm asking for demonstrable evidence on
You're
how
asking
you know
me why I'm me.
Yeah, why you hold the law of identity.
You see, makes no sense. Why do you hold the law of identity? Why do you hold the law of identity? What is the actual accepted reply to that question? Why do you hold the law of identity? Give me an answer now.
I don't know, because I was born into this world.
Yeah. What can you say?
When I was born, I was given an identity.
Exactly.
Yeah, so when you were born, you were given an identity. How do you know that you are you and not something else?
How do you know that you are you and not something else? This is dumb. Plain old fucking dumb. This is theological bullshit. This is nonsense from the outfield. How do you know that you are new and not you are you and not somebody else? Just think about it. Think about yourself and how you know that you are you and not somebody else.
Because I am a human, and humans aren't stupid enough to not know what they are.
You're already begging the question.
I am a human, and he's already saying, you're already begging the question.
Because you started it off with I, so you're already presupposing that you are you. How do you...
See, what is stupid? You started off with I. You're presupposing that you are... This is nonsense. This is absolute gobbledygook. Can somebody tell me that I'm not hearing things?
You know, before presupposing that you are you with demonstrable evidence.
What the? I'm so confused with you.
Yeah.
You asked me why I'm me.
Philosophy and epistemology.
It's dumb. It's dumb. Oh, I'll tell you what I was going to say. The point that I was going to make earlier that I forgot. That he said he starts from epistemology, and in a conversation I had with him regarding the Dawkins scale, you know, the 1 through 7, he says to me outright, I don't take anything that Richard Dawkins says seriously in philosophy, because he's a biologist, not a philosopher. Well, you, my friend, all you've done is claim to be an amateur philosopher. Well, I'm an amateur philosopher. Everybody in the world who isn't a PhD philosophy is an amateur philosopher. Richard Dawkins has a PhD. In other words, Doctor of Philosophy. So how can you say that you don't recognize Richard Dawkins as a philosopher when he has a doctorate in philosophy? And you are an amateur philosopher, but a professional truck driver. And you claim to have more insight than Richard Dawkins. Kalilula. Really?
You're asking me why I'm me.
Yeah, no. I asked you how you know you are you with demonstrable evidence alone.
What does that fucking mean? Get a mirror. Look in it. There you go. That's demonstrable evidence. What does you really mean? The image of you? The personality of you? What? The education of you? The what the fuck are you talking about?
As I can think, therefore I am.
You just started with the word I. That's begging the question. You're starting with your conclusion.
What begging the question?
And your reasoning.
What the fuck?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not starting with your conclusion. If you're trying to talk about yourself, you have to say I. I mean, how would it sound like? Okay, I have no idea how to answer that coherently, because it's a really stupid question. Literally, it's a dumb question. Probably the dumbest one I've ever heard.
This is some crazy shit,
I'm starting with
bro.
the claim. I'm claiming that I am me.
Bro,
You're
exactly.
so stupid.
Just some backstory. I was a hard...
Now he's going to try and tell him, listen here, I got some education for you, because, I'm an amateur philosopher, and I was a hard atheist, even though I believe that God could exist. Listen to this bullshit.
Atheist YouTube.
I don't care what your backstory is.
5 months ago, I was a hard atheist YouTuber.
You were not a hard atheist YouTuber. You've never been a hard atheist YouTuber. You're not even a hard theist. You're a weak theist. You're a fake. You're a fake, Kalilula. I'm calling you out on your fakery.
Okay, so I know how this works. I know how stupid religious people can be.
Channel, bro?
You know how stupid religious people can be because you are one. You have to be one to know one.
I'm going to bring you something else that you've never heard before.
What is it? What is it, though?
What is what?
Give me hard evidence that you are an atheist.
I don't need to give you hard evidence. I don't believe
Then I don't need to give you hard evidence.
Exactly.
Well, this is where you just back into your safe space. This is what atheists do.
I'm not backing in. I'm just saying that this argument...
This is what atheists do. They back into their safe space. Listen to this. Listen to this shit.
Pointless.
Yeah, no.
You're asking me why I'm me. What?
I'll wait.
Why am I me? The kid doesn't have a clue how to answer a question like that. And I don't think if somebody asked Kalilula the same question, he wouldn't have a clue how to answer. And I'm sure of that.
Oh, wait. Let me know when you're done.
He's so condescending. So fucking condescending. He thinks he's the shit, but he's nothing.
Law of logic, law of identity.
No, it's not the law of logic. The classical law of logic consists of the law of identity, non-contradiction, and excluded middle. I'm asking Scythe specifically.
You're arguing that I'm not me.
What I'm doing is I'm showing you that you can hold reasonable beliefs without empirical evidence. I know you're not.
Bullshit. You're not showing by asking somebody how they know that they are they, and not somebody else, is not any proof that you can hold reasonable beliefs without empiricism. You're just making specious claims, Kalilula.
I never said that you couldn't.
You literally said, I got it recorded, bro.
I said,
can you hold reasonable beliefs? I said specifically,
instead of getting ahead of yourself.
I said specifically, can you hold reasonable beliefs without empirical evidence? And you said no.
Scythe, honestly, you're stepping in about 2 decent-sized landmines.
Okay. Maybe I said that. But
do we want to change that? I'd be more than
You see how they bulldoze the guy? Oh, maybe I said it's like gaslighting the guy.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I do believe that it is possible to make a belief without empirical evidence, but I myself probably, when it comes to religion, I do not like to
Okay,
think
that's
that.
fine. We're not talking about religion right now. We're just simply talking about epistemology.
Okay, can you explain to me how you know you are you? Because that'll give me an understanding.
Because I presuppose the law of identity as an axiom. Because I have no.
Right, there you go. When he said, when he says, how could you prove that you are you? You don't have to. You just say, I presuppose that I am I, because it's an axiom. The law of identity. Sidney Winston is Sidney Winston. Kalilula is Kalilula. Right? Law of identity. How do you disprove that? You can't, because it's a law. And this is what this guy's doing. He's being very, very dishonest in this in this interaction.
It's a reason to it.
Let me help you out, Scythe. Just grant that you don't know it and see where the conversation goes.
Exactly. I'm confused what he's even asking me. I don't know. How do I know I'm me? What kind of question is this?
How do you know you're you and not something else?
Because of the law of identity. Just say that, kid.
It's a pretty simple question. I mean, but just...
Hey, look, how do I not know I'm me and I'm not something else? Because if I was something else, I'm pretty sure I would know. Because
exactly.
No, you wouldn't exist. You wouldn't exist. No, you wouldn't exist because you would be a true contradiction, and true contradictions don't actualize in reality.
That is so stupid. You wouldn't exist if you weren't you and you were somebody else. You wouldn't exist to think about it. You see how crazy, it's crazy the way these people think. And I wonder how did Kalilula come to these conclusions? Was it himself, or was it through his newfound religion? His newfound.
Are you lost?
I'm just not going to talk to you. I'm confused. Okay. You're asking me something that doesn't make any sense.
No. Actually, Ethernet, am I making sense right now?
No, you're not making any fucking sense. I'm going to take a break right now, so I can recharge my nerves, recharge my coffee, wait for some people to come in. I'm putting 5 minutes on the clock, and it starts now. that means time's up. So we're back. Okay. No one joined, so we'll just carry on.
Yeah, no, I know, I see exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
Is totally the one thing I do have a question about. The last thing you said is, under the standard laws of logic, nothing can exist that's contradictory, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, for me, that's a starting investigatory point to where if something is logically contradictory internally,
All right.
then
If something is logically contradictory internally,
I automatically dismiss
Yeah,
it from
I need help,
existing.
bro.
And
Yeah.
how are you able to come to that conclusion?
yeah. How are you able to come to that conclusion, Khalilullah? If logic is if what did you say? If something is logically contradictory internally, man, you are such a word salad monger.
Without using logic.
I presuppose logic.
If you presuppose logic, the question was how do you come to your conclusions without using logic? Because you do. You come to the conclusion of Allah without logic. And the guy asked you, how do you do that? And you said, well, I presuppose logic, which is totally counter to the way you arrive at your conclusion. Anyway, we'll see.
With logic.
Can you answer?
What do you
a
mean
question?
with logic? No, there is nothing to. Okay, so let me give you guys a rundown of what an axiom is.
He's teaching us what an axiom. The truck driver is going to teach us what an axiom is.
Quite
An
similar to
axiom
what
is
Cyber
an
said.
axiom is a belief that you hold without reasoning to it. There's literally no way to reason to it, so I can't use
Yeah,
reason.
logical reasoning.
No,
So
yeah,
you're
but I
basically
don't
trying-
use.
you're
I
trying to
don't use.
justify-
I
So what he's saying is forget about the way you use axioms, forget about the way axioms are defined, and forget about the way everybody in the world understands what axioms are. But I, Khalilullah, define and use axioms a little bit differently than everybody else. So you all have to conform to my usage of the word.
Trying to
don't
justify
hold on.
why
You
you
don't
believe-
use logic now.
You already
you're
said
justifying why you
that
believe in something without
you were
knowing why.
drowning in the ocean right now when it comes to this stuff. Let me talk to Ilmatic.
He really thinks he's like some kind of a Socrates, doesn't he?
You already said you had no clue what we were talking about. So just
Actually, he's not anything like Socrates. He's more like Darth Dawkins.
sit
No,
back
it's
and listen.
not that. I'm just confused on what you're asking me.
Okay,
Okay, this has been almost 10 minutes of Khalilullah asking this kid how to provide demonstrable evidence that he is who he is and that he's not somebody else. And if he is somebody else, then he couldn't provide demonstrable evidence because he wouldn't exist. This is exactly the kind of logic Khalilullah uses.
so I was asking you if you were you and also not you. Are you a contradiction?
See? Are you a contradiction? Because you might be you. I mean, you are you, but you might not be you. So therefore, are you a contradiction? Does that make any sense?
Okay, here's the thing. I don't care about what's going on. Somebody called a mod.
Well,
Yes.
it was Illmatic. It was me. I was getting a little crazy in here, wondering
Yeah.
if you wanted to just if you had time to step in and just kind of make sure everything goes
Illmatic.
smooth.
Yeah, what's going on?
He's rambling on about something that has nothing to do with what I fucking asked.
Ethernet.
No, he's not.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I know
Yeah,
he's rambling, and I'm confused on how this.
Besides, sometimes
Belief-
people.
You see how he interrupts? The guy's talking to the mod. The kid's talking to the mod and telling him what's going on and why essentially the mods were called because the kid is confused about the question that Khalilullah's trying to ask him or asking him, and I'm confused, and probably everybody is confused, but nobody's saying anything. But I'm certainly confused, and the kid's confused, and he's telling the moderator that he's confused, and Khalilullah interrupts because I don't know why.
People think
You guys are fun.
sometimes people think others are rambling when they don't
You see, he just interrupts with nonsense, with bullshit, and with insults. Really,
even understand what they're talking about.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Start that. Don't start fucking insulting people's intelligence. in here.
Well,
You're
no,
not-
no,
alright, he's
no.
alright.
He literally said that he had no clue what the conversation was about. So I'm
I
not.
just-
oh, that is such crap. He's been going on for 10 minutes, and if he didn't know what the conversation was about, he must have said it 11 minutes ago, because I certainly didn't hear it.
did not say
Insulting
that.
him.
Literally said I don't know what you're asking me.
Exactly, that's what he said. Okay, so this is the kind of twisting that these theists do. He just said, the kid said he doesn't know what the conversation is about, so I was filling him in 10 minutes of it, right? Meantime, the kid didn't ask him that. He said, "What? I don't understand what you're asking me." Because no, I don't understand what Kalilula's asking the kid myself. And I'm glad that he asked, because I need it cleared up as well. And of course, Kalilula's going to run away.
I never said I didn't know
Yeah,
what you guys were
so
talking about.
specifically what I was asking you, Scythe, is if you can hold rational beliefs without
I'm not-
empirical evidence.
I'll be back. Call me if you need me.
Okay.
So, Khalil, can I call you Khalil?
Absolutely.
When you presuppose the laws of logic, are you talking about the language or the patterns that they describe, that the laws describe?
I'm talking about everything within the law of logic in its entirety.
Okay, well, if you're going to take the law of logic in its entirety, then I think what you have to, and you're a Muslim, right? Khalilullah. So you have to understand, if you start off with the laws of logic, if you start off with the laws of identity, how do you come up with a question for that scythe? How do you possibly come up with a question if you really believe in or understand the laws of logic? How do you come up with a question? How do you know you are you and not somebody else? To me, that's an irrational question. It's really a stupid question. Because I am what I am, A equals A, law of identity. You're the one that you even mentioned it, and now what you're doing is you're showing that you don't understand what the law of identity is, and that's a shame. It's a shame for everybody who almost worships you, because I get a lot of shit for criticizing you, because you're supposed to be such a nice guy, but I don't know. I don't think you're such a nice guy. I think you're way you're in too deep. Your waters that you're in are too deep. You can't swim in the waters that you're in. You're way above your head. You're in way above your head, dude. If you really want to do philosophy, go and get a PhD, or even a bachelor's in philosophy. Go do what Canadian Catholics doing. And then at least he's walking the walk, talking the talk, right? He's a bullshit philosopher, useless. But unless he's lying, he's a philosophy student. He's a undergrad, looking for a bachelor's of philosophy or something. So go do that. You're embarrassing yourself any other way.
So the language, the conceptual component
So,
of it, and the thing it describes.
Well, no, not the thing that it describes. Well, the
Okay,
thing that
just
it's describing is outside of the law itself. The law is just expressed upon the subject.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, continue.
Yeah, so I was simply just asking you. I went down this route because when I did ask you, can you hold reasonable beliefs without empirical evidence, you said no. Now I understand that you did say that you would rephrase and change your mind on that, and I'm totally cool with that. We can hold reasonable beliefs without empirical evidence because there are things that we must presuppose, like the laws of logic, like causation,
Okay, now we're presupposing things, right? The laws of logic. We're presupposing the laws of logic. That's really all you have to do. That's it. Laws of logic. Okay, what else? Causation. I don't understand. You presuppose causation means you presuppose energy. You presuppose existence. Okay, so you presuppose the laws of logic. You presuppose existence.
What else? There's other things that every human.
Okay, so he can't think of anything else. So laws of logic and existence. You presuppose those two. He said it. He called it causation, but I don't know that the only word I can think of to make sense of what causation is existence. So this is a new Muslim. He calls himself a new Muslim who says that he accepts the laws of logic and he accepts existence. That those two things are the laws of logic are axiomatic. Existence is axiomatic. Now watch him flip. I bet you he'll flip.
Being must presuppose universally at a fundamental level, because we literally have no way to prove it or demonstrate it or even provide an argument for it without begging the question and using the conclusion within the premises.
That's just repeating boilerplate bullshit. He's repeating what he's probably read on Wikipedia, but he's not providing any details that are specific to the topic that he's talking about or to all of us here, in the community who watch him. I'm not picking up what he's really trying to say.
Yeah, so the first two questions that sorry, I'll let you go after I just put this in, but first two questions he asked you, your answers to, I mean, honestly, they were big landmines, and they really didn't need to be answered that way. But you're free to work through that and just proceed. I'm kind of interested to hear
where this goes.
Just
really confused on why and what he was asking me.
Yes.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Because we went from talking about your religion, Khalil, to completely turning the subject.
Well, no, you asked me why I believe in my God, so I figured I'd start off when I was an atheist and go through all of the steps that got me to Allah. Are you interested in that?
Okay.
Hell no. Hell no. Fuck, are you crazy? Can you imagine? Can you absolutely imagine having to listen to that? I was a hard atheist. I knew that there was no God. God wasn't possible. God was irrational. There couldn't have been a God ever. No way. Totally possible. That's how I started. But now I'm all Allahu Akbar, because Allahu Akbar and reason and logic and law of identity, and yeah, I'm a Muslim now. Bullshit. You're a fake. You're a fraud. Galilula. All right, I'm going to open the room now. I mean, the room's been open. But now, I'm going to open it even wider. Yes. So, yeah. Okay, you guys can come on in now. I'm going to turn to the chat and see if any guests would like to come in and have a chat. So, God equals the square root of -1 has made himself known. I don't know who's watching right now, but John Rapp, Free Thinker, and A Square Circle Too Heavy to Lift have all made comments. Hey, I really appreciate the comments. I can't tell whether you're actually there right now or not. But, again, all gods are imaginary. Prove me wrong. If you can't do that, that's okay. The room is open anyway, whether you can prove it or not. But I'm going to give it, should I give it 5 minutes or 15 minutes to wait for somebody to come in? in chat, or if somebody's 3 people watching right now, one of you come in and just keep the room warm. How would that be? Okay. So we've got, okay, before we do anything, let's plan what's going to happen, because we have to have contingency plans. Okay, the plan is for a theist to join the room and to start giving me his or her proof that I'm wrong. You don't have to ask me questions. You should have your proof that proves me wrong all ready to go. When I say all gods, I mean including the concept of a creator God. That, I'm including that. What about the gods that we aren't aware of? Are they imaginary as well? Well, funnily enough, they're not imaginary. They actually exist. Now, I have done years and years of research into the topic, because I am an amateur researcher. And let me tell you, I've come up with some very, very, very serious questions. First off, if we haven't imagined a God yet, my research shows me that that God exists. But if we have imagined a God, it does not exist. Thank you for listening. Sorry for that. I'm a crazy guy. What can I tell you? Right. Okay. So, hey, Thripper. Sorry. Thripper. I apologize. Hi, Nisa. Nisa Threepwood. Okay, I ran out of video, and now, okay, yes, I was talking about the plans and the contingency plans. Okay, so here's the plan. The plan is for you, a theist, to come in and prove me wrong that all gods are imaginary. Failing that, the room is open for open discussion, and don't feel obligated to just come in and prove me wrong, because you're welcome, free thinker. The room is open for either somebody theist to come and prove me wrong, or attempt to prove me wrong, or just open discussion. It doesn't really matter. Thank you for saving me embarrassment there. I'm going to start the. I'll start the time. Okay, I'm wondering, is 5 minutes or 15 minutes or 10 minutes? What should we? How long should we wait? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to split. I'm going to split the difference, and I'm going to make it. What I say? I'm going to make it 10 minutes. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to plug it in, let it go. Oh shit, I don't have a 10-minute timer. I'm going to make it 15 minutes. Sorry. So here we go. It be counting. All right, so that's the story. We're waiting for the room to open, basically. Anybody can join. Do not be afraid. I will not bite. Well, maybe I will. And I will be back. changed my mind. I'm not waiting 15 minutes. It's crazy. I'm not even waiting 5 minutes. It's crazier. So either you come on in now. I'll tell you what. I'll give you a chance. I'll give you a chance to redeem yourselves. I'll actually change the I'll change the time to 5 minutes. And then I'll shut her down, all right? If no one comes in, that is, I'll shut her down, okay? There you go. I don't have to necessarily, I'll tell you, I'll engage with the chat room in the meantime. So, all right. I am all, for the next 5 minutes, all focused on the chat room. What do you think about, okay, Freethinker asks, what do you think about the latest Jack Angstreich argument against the Christian God? Quote, if God is omnipotent and he can create a world where people do only good, then why didn't he? Unquote. Well, the thing is, I think that if God is omnipotent and he could create a world where people do only good, then then I think God did. It's just not this universe. It's another universe with people. That must be the only answer. That is the only possible answer. I've never heard Jack Angstreich actually use that. I haven't actually seen a Jack Angstreich around for a while. I don't follow Discord, and now that Darth Dawkins has left Discord, Tom Rabbit doesn't. Well, nobody really records anything from Discord and throws it up. And so if Jack Angstreich's only on Discord, then I won't get to follow him at all. Or I won't get to what am I trying to say? I won't get to hear his latest arguments, unfortunately. Darth couldn't answer this one? Seriously? What did he say? Did he scream and shout and break something? Well, that's, I don't know, I thought that was a pretty, if God is omnipotent and he can create a world where people do only good, then why didn't he? Well, again, if I were Darth Dawkins, I would have said, who's to say that he didn't? God can do anything. God can create another universe where people only do good. You know, we just happen to be in the universe where people are cunts. Most of them. Not you guys, of course. Not you. But you know what I mean. I hope. Am I making sense at least? I don't know. Yes, I need to know what Dar said as well. Good question, Nissa. So, spill it. What did Dar say? He dodged it by saying that he doesn't answer Jack's arguments. I've heard that before. I've heard him do that. I've heard Darth Dawkins do that before. Did you see the picture of young Darth Dawkins or young Gary Milne that I had up the other day? Yeah, let me show you. This is a picture of Gary Milne from his yearbook. From his yearbook. Was Darth booted from Discord or did he leave? I think well, he left because nobody would deal with him anymore. Nobody. He even got to the if he didn't have his own room, nobody else would give him mods in other rooms. So he left because everybody's servers that he was in, where he had mods, took the mods away. So he didn't have a way to control the audience, to control his victim, like he has to. Otherwise, he doesn't have a way to. Otherwise, he doesn't have a way to make a fool of himself. So he was essentially shunned from Discord. Nobody wanted to give him mods. Nobody wanted to give him mods. So he said, "Okay, well, I'm gonna leave like a baby," and he left. And now he's on Clubhouse, and he's kind of obviously diminishing. His effect is diminishing quite a bit. Hold on, I missed stuff. See, when I'm talking to you, I'm missing the chat. A square circle, I'm just going to read it for you to catch up. A square circle too heavy to lift says, square circle from now, okay? The whole Bible story begs questions like this. Yeah. Why he did the things he did doesn't make sense. Lots of things don't make sense, correct? Okay, square circle. The Last Supper reminds Darth too much of whatever happened to him at his high school cafeteria table. So he doesn't talk about events in the Bible. That's Donny Osmond. Lucky Seven. Hey, how you doing? Darth will be more than happy to answer that question when he is finished his 15 years of questions. Nearly there. Only 5 to go. Hilarious. Yeah. This has too much. Yeah, he took his mods very, very seriously and muted and kicked anyone he wanted for no reason. Especially, well, it wasn't for no reason. For number one, for talking, and number two, for not following his script. His script for victims. Not everyone is a sucker, Darth Dawkins. Square Circle says, I think Darth still has his sneakers from when that picture was taken. Brilliant. Nice. That's funny. I hope somebody uses that in a satire or something. Actually, you know what? If you can find the soundbite where he says, "I have sneakers older than you," you can make a little video with him saying that and then bringing up that picture. Yuck, that's disgusting. Freethinker, the other Christian that was arguing with Jack was saying that God can create a world where people do only good, but due to free will cannot guarantee it. Well, if God can create a world, then God can create 2 worlds, or 3, or 100, or infinite, right? So, but kind of a weird question, because there's a simple answer. If God can create this world, then God can create any other world, and you can't question my God logic on that. Since free will exists in heaven, then even in heaven people can do evil. Well, does free will exist in heaven? Because it certainly doesn't exist on earth. And how do we know anyway? Because it says so in the fables, in the Christian fables. No, if God is all powerful, then it's possible that he's created another universe where people on the planet Earth do only good. Maybe we're the planet where people do only evil. Maybe it's a little experiment. Or maybe God has taken all the people on this planet who have only ever done good and recreated them on the planet where people only do good. So what he's done here is the little experiment, right? He's put the people in, and those that only do good for doing good's sake and not for anything in the sky, those people he picks and puts on a planet where everybody does good. And when you die, if you do good all your life, you'll wake up on the other planet and you will live a life on a planet with people who only do good. Now, I have faith that the story is accurate. Thank you very much. I'm here all week. It's a guarantee thing. Oh, okay, free thinker. Let me see if I can work on the guarantee thing. The other Christian that was arguing with Jack was saying that God can create a world where people do only good. That God can create a world where people do only good, but due to free will cannot guarantee it. Oh, I see. The free will of the people. Oh, that's a cop-out. And since free will exists in heaven, then even in heaven people can do evil. Lucky Seven says it was a Muslim that had the guarantee thing. Nissa, I have only one question for militant evangelicals. How many people have you converted? Can you count them on less than one thumb? I know that free will doesn't exist, and you know it, but Darth and other Christians don't. Yes. Well, they do. They're just faking. They're fakers. They're fakers and frauds. They do know. They cannot know. I mean, they're not. They don't have less propensity for being intelligent than you or I, for using their gray matter to really, really delve deep into logic and reason and what it means and how it works. Darth has converted. Lucky Seven says Darth has converted a lot to non-belief. Yeah, that I would buy way. I'd believe that before I believe the opposite. Square circle. Free will is a concept from before we had toilet paper. It doesn't have any value in modern discussions about how brains work and decisions are made. Well said. Well said. Free will was created by God. Why did he bother? Yeah, Nissa, why? Because he wanted to mess with your head. That's why, Nissa. Lucky Seven. God can do anything logically possible. Creating a world where people only choose the good is logically possible. Therefore, God can create that world. Yeah, absolutely. If you can conceive of a God that is this omniscient, do anything, like super person, then God creating one universe is nothing. He can create any amount of universes that she wants. Can God not? So essentially, God is a troll. Actually, ancient humanity is a troll, because can you imagine them making up stuff, thinking, can you imagine what these people will be thinking in 2,000 years? We got them good. That's possible, right? It's possible that some scribe was writing his shit and thinking, I wonder if in 2,000 years this will still be relevant. People will be reading it and actually believe it. I don't believe it myself, even though I'm the scribe, but yes, square circle. I think you've nailed it. God can only do what people can imagine a God doing because he is imaginary. Well said. Again, spot on. Yes, the people who invented God are trolls. Exactly. And people like Darth Dawkins have drunk God's Kool-Aid. God turned his blood into Kool-Aid for Darth Dawkins to drink. And look at the result, ladies and gentlemen. Look how decrepit, how bankrupt one becomes when you cannot resist the temptation of a heavenly God. You will believe in God. You understand me? I am Sidney Winston, and I tell you, believe in God. Don't ask me why, because there is no God to believe in. But the Pope says God exists, so he must. Okay, come on. Somebody come in and join us. Let's have a chat. Otherwise, I'll put up 5 more minutes with music. And if nobody comes in, I'll just shut it down. Okay. Will that work? Freethinker, you both Freethinker and Square Circle, you're both making very, very good points. Would you like to come into the room, the conversation room, and make those points in the room with voice? Because they're very, very valid, and they'll go a long way in debunking the bullshit that is Barth Dawkins. Why don't we call him the bullshit of Barth? There's no reason we have to stick with the name Darth Dawkins, is there? We can always call him Barth Dawkins or Barth Dawkins or whatever we want. Just change the D's to the B's and that's it. Square Circle's at work and can't join today. Okay, how about Freethinker? Can you come in? Nissa, can you come in? Because you guys all have something very relevant and hilarious at times to say or to type, so you might as well say it, so I can have a reason to carry on streaming. Because to stream into the chat, to stream live and just interact with the chat doesn't serve the purpose that I'm actually trying to present. So I'll tell you what, then what I'll do is I'll start the clock. It's midday in Australia, so what? Oh, are you one of those working people at midday? You're like on a lunch break or something? Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Australia is such a strange dimension. It's like somewhere in the future somewhere. It's like weird. So what I'm going to do then, my friends, is restart the clock. I'm going to give it 5 minutes if no one's come in by the time the 5 minutes is up, then I'm just going to say thank you very much, and I'm going to cut it. All right? Enjoy the music for the next 5 minutes anyway. you've said your piece, and you said you were going to leave and not come back. That would be great.
You see, that's. I mean, you can kick me, you piece of chicken shit.
I'm not going to kick you.
Kick me.
I want you to
You
leave. You
fucking Zionist piece of trash.
Okay,
You are a
so
Zionist. You're a Zionist piece of trash, and that's why you hate Muslims.